All right, let's hear it for our next speaker. Palmieri, he's a chef. Eric John Palmieri, he's a chef, came from Rhode Island on a train, just got here to make this presentation. He's going to talk about how NFTs are revolutionizing the food arts. So, come on out. Woo-hoo.
Hello, hello, hello. You guys hear me all right? Man, I am jacked up. I just hoofed it down 8th Avenue to get here. My train was late. How many of you guys are native New Yorkers? Tourists? The only time a tourist hates another tourist is when they're in a hurry. I swear to God, I was like, get out of the way. I'm in a hurry. All right, so let's see if this is working. Nope. All right. Oh, that's cool. I'll go without it. So my name is Eric John. I'm a pizza artist from Rhode Island. It's an actual state, believe it or not. Smallest state in the Union. And I make pizza art. Oh, there we go. Look at that. Perfect. Yeah. So I want to talk about how NFTs will revolutionize food arts. Basically, the gist is I've been doing this for about 5 years. Started off very simple, basic designs, and then as it is with food, you can really only take it so far, right? It's got to be something that's 100% edible. It can't be too much food that people can't eat it, right? But this is what NFTs has allowed me to do. Let me get out of the way. Is to make creations like that. That pizza would feed about 125 people. Don't worry, I take it all apart when it's done. I don't waste anything. We use all those ingredients in my pizza shop and in other products. But without NFTs, I wouldn't be able to do this. There's no way. It wouldn't be financially feasible. It just wouldn't make sense for me to do. Let's see. Oh, it's a little slow. That's cool. Oh, there we go. All right, so I already covered this a little bit. My family opened the first Palmieri's bakery in Providence, Rhode Island, over 100 years ago. And so it's pretty amazing going from making calzones and chicken wings and pizzas and all that kind of stuff to doing NFTs. This is a pizza funk that I made to honor the Funk Project. This is literally the first pizza art I ever made. As you can see, it's super basic. I did it for the 4th of July actually it's probably more like 7 years ago that I made that. And people loved it. They were totally into it. Again, there's really not so much, here's a good example of before and after. So this is like when I first started making pizza art, and that's much more towards the end when I kind of refined my skills. But like I've said, again, I can really only take it so far. The NFT technology has allowed me to invest the time, the energy, the effort into taking my creative art to a new level. There's no way to sell pizza art, or any food art for that matter, in a way that's gonna last forever, in a way that's uniquely collectible without NFT. And it's changed my life dramatically. And my hunch, oh, thank you. It has. I've been doing it for about a year, NFTs. I've met amazing people, as I'm sure a lot of you have, in the space. This is the first time I've met anybody associated with NFTs in person, so that's pretty awesome. Thank you, NFT.NYC, for putting this on so I could do that. Yeah, so I think a lot of other food artists are poised to enter the space. There's all different types of food artists, right? There's cake decorators, right, which is kind of an obvious one. But it goes well beyond that. If you think about charcuterie boards, you guys know what charcuterie boards are? There are people online who make insanely beautiful charcuterie boards that can now photograph them and sell them as NFTs. Ice sculptors is another thing, right? How are you going to make an ice sculpture and sell it as a one-of-one work of art, right? Unless you live in the North Pole or somewhere insanely cold all the time, right? But you can photograph it and sell it as an NFT. This right here was my Genesis piece. Can anyone guess who that is? It's actually a portrait of Dave Portnoy, who's sort of the greatest ambassador for all pizza. So that was actually the first NFT I ever minted and sold about a year ago. I did it on the Wax blockchain. I donated 100% of it to charity. Here's an example of one of my large pizza portraits. It's Jim Morrison. Again, that's an example of what's possible. That's the first giant piece of pizza art I ever made. Here's an example of what's called a nifty pizza. So another area where people in the food industry, not necessarily in the art world, but in the food industry can use NFTs is, what I'm doing with these is I'm making real pizzas, cooking them, I'm photographing them, and I'm selling them as collectibles with toppings and all different attributes, much like you would have with other PFPs. And then the ultimate goal is to come up with a menu of all of these pizzas and allow people to buy them at my pizza shop using Ethereum. That's the Cake Boss. You guys know who the Cake Boss is? That's a cake. It's not a Slurpee, it's a giant cake. Now someone like the Cake Boss, right, he doesn't really need NFTs to be able to take his art form to the absolute limit, right? He's got a TV show, he's got a lot of money behind him, right? But what about the other millions of cake decorators all across the world who can now invest the time and the energy into fully developing their art form for the first time, right? These are some other potential genres that I've thought of that go beyond food art. I call them occupational art, right? What about landscapers, right? Landscape design, not just landscape design, but something like this, right? Could be an NFT. Before this, the only way you can make money as a landscaper is by having someone to pay you to cut their lawn. Now you can make artwork if you want. It's an amazing technology. It's amazing. Hairstylists, right? Unless you're gonna chop off someone's head and freeze it, you can't sell a hairstyle as a one-of-one artwork, but you could now with NFT. Architecture is another good example, and interior design. The list goes on and on and on and on. And I think what you're gonna see is a real creative explosion, not just from food arts, but from all other types of occupations. And I really think we're about to see that really enter the space. I know food artists who, I know one food artist who made a portrait of Piers Morgan using different pieces of toast that were slightly cooked at different darknesses to get the shading just right, and then it was pieced together sort of like a mosaic. Amazing. But then again, the bread's gonna go stale, right? So all he could really do up to this point is take a photograph of it and use it for promotional purposes, right? To get it to go viral, to get some attention. Now he can actually sell it and make money and invest in himself because of this technology. This is actually my latest one-of-one mint entitled Giraffes. I'm not super creative with my titles, sorry. But yeah, again, this is what's possible. I could never have dreamed of making artwork like this with my pizzas more than a year ago. And I was actually personally feeling kind of stuck creatively because, again, it's a balance of your creative drive and the economics of the situation, right? I can only invest so much time into a pizza that someone's gonna buy and then eat, right? No matter how beautiful the pizza is, they're gonna eat that pizza, right? So I can only charge so much for it. But with NFTs, I can put 9 hours into making one pizza, and I can sell it as a collectible. So again, it's changed my life. If anyone has any questions, I actually have like a minute left. So if anyone has any questions about my work or about food arts, please don't be shy. Yes, sir.
I'm also a fellow chef, and this is like pretty awesome. I want to ask you, where do you see the future of restaurants and chefs? How does this work together with NFTs and metaverse? Where do you see it going?
Well, I can give you one good example. So what he asked was, where do you see restaurants and the food industry going with NFTs? I think that one good example is a project called the Shefty Project. It's a PFP project. It's run by a couple of guys from the Food Network, Spike Mendelsohn and Tom Colicchio, who does Top Chef. And holding those NFTs allows you into exclusive events. You get access to master classes and making all different types of food items. And they can end up linking those to their own personal restaurants. So I think that's kind of where it's going. I think we have time for just one quick one. Go.
One quick question. When you make a pizza for 180 people, have you thought of maybe giving it away to the people who are hungry?
Oh, yeah.
Back to the people who are buying their art, because then I see value in me buying art that you're selling because you're feeding.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think that's something that I could organize for sure in the future. And like I said earlier, I don't waste anything, so yeah, I put the time into making all that food, but then I just dismantle it and then turn it into other food that then goes and feeds people. But that's a great idea, using it as for charitable purposes to feed people who are hungry. Awesome idea, I'm totally into it. All right, thank you guys. Thank you so much for listening. Appreciate it.
Excellent.